got some peoples.
Oh, is it live?
We are live.
Oh, okay, cool. Hi guys. Sorry we're a few minutes late. Yanni was looking at door stoppers.
It was Lauren's fault.
We're doing groin stretching today. So I have our pillows. Again, the firmer the pillow or the higher the pillow, the better. So we'll start. Let's just get right into it. Sitting in a cross-legged position, hands on the knees, and we'll just roll out the shoulders. So groin, really important for your guard retention. And reverse, roll the shoulders the other way. And relax the shoulders down, roll the head. Good, relax the head, bring the feet together for butterfly. And we're still warming up, so nothing crazy. We're just gonna round the back and drop the chin to the chest. And then we're gonna make some shoulder circles here. So we're just gonna lean forward, side to side, holding on to the ankles or the feet. Good, reverse. Bringing it around town.
What?
It's from SpongeBob.
Oh, you kids.
You're too old for SpongeBob. Good. Straight back, hand to the knee, look over your shoulder.
Yeah, I'm aware of that. I've never actually watched SpongeBob, but
I was just kidding. You really haven't seen it? Or?
I've never seen SpongeBob
Oh
in my
my
life.
God.
Weird, right?
That
But,
is kind of weird. Switch.
little kids have been saying that during class anytime I have them move their hips around.
Bring it around town.
Yeah. Then
Actually, I think of bring it around town every time you do that, like hips circle thing you do.
It's an old school at warm up. I've been doing that since I was a kid.
Good. Bring it forward, fingertips forward. Relax your head down.
SpongeBob is not my generation, Lauren. I'm like just too old for it.
Yeah.
Even though it's a pretty old show.
Yeah, it came out when I was like pretty young. And then bring your hands to one side. And we'll switch. Good, back to the middle. All the way up. And then extend your right leg forward. Okay, sole of the foot into the thigh, palms on the knee, and just bow your head down towards the knee. Nothing crazy, still warming up. And then slide it back up. I'm just going to turn my angle so you can see a little better. Forearm comes either on the thigh, or if you can get your forearm to the floor, use the elbow to dig into your inner thigh and open your shoulder up. Then extend the arm overhead. One more deep breath. Good, coming up. I'm gonna fix my angle again. Okay, so this takes a little coordination, but we bring the hand alongside the hip of your bent knee. So for me, that's my left hand. Then we're gonna put pressure onto your shin and bridge the hip up. Arm overhead. Get this in the front of your hips. And exhale, bring it back down. Good. Switching. Okay, hands on the knees. Round your back and slide it forward. flexing your foot. Good, coming up. And then again, elbow either on the thigh or to the floor. Dig your elbow into the thigh and bring the arm overhead. You should feel this in the side of your body and your hip, maybe your hamstring. Good, all the way back up. Plant your hand on the floor, right alongside your hip. Pressure onto the shin and lift the hips up. And then we'll take it back down. Good, crisscrossing your legs, hands behind you, fingers facing me. Bridge the hips up and just stretch the front of your hips. Good, relax the hips down, walk your hands forward into your first tabletop. Okay, and we'll do a little warming up for our groin with our half frog. So the instep of your foot comes to the floor. You can keep your back foot toes down, or you can tuck them if you need help with balance. And then push your hips back as you slide your foot away from you. You can, if you're struggling, you can also use your pillow to kind of relax on. One more deep breath here. And then you can place your hands back on the floor if they're not already there. Slide the foot back. And we'll switch right away. Instep down. Push your hips back toward your heel. So you should be feeling this in your inner thigh. How you doing, Yanni?
Good.
Do you feel it?
Oh yeah.
That's good.
This is a good one. It's like a half split.
Yeah.
If I only had one leg.
A half straddle, technically.
Same. I call it split.
One more deep breath here. Good. Hands to the floor. Slide the foot back. And then I'll just slide this to the side. We'll come up into down dog and just pedal out our heels. Very good. Let's float forward into plank and get a little flow going. Just going through your vinyasa. Step or jump forward. Forward fold, 3 deep breaths. Good. Widen your feet a little bit wider than your hips, toes out, and we'll come into a squat. We won't be here long because we're still warming up, and we're just going to rock from side to side, elbows pushing the knees, chest is lifting, back is as straight as you can get it, hips as low as you can get them. Ideally, we want to avoid coming up onto just the tippy toes. See if you can get your whole foot on the floor. One more deep breath. Good, and then I'll put my fingertips on the floor, slowly lean forward and straighten the legs, and then scooch your feet back together, forward fold. Good, bend your knees, hands on the floor, step or jump back to plank, and go through your flow. Again, step or jump forward, and we'll come right back into our squat. Okay, this time we'll plant the right hand down, dig the elbow into the knee, and open up the opposite hand.
Oh, I forgot to change this to groin stretches.
What does it say?
Hamstrings.
Oh, really?
I'll fix that right.
Yanni's having a bad day, guys. And then we'll switch. Opposite hand down. Elbow digs into the knee. Open up your shoulder, looking at your thumb if you can. One more deep breath. Very good. Fingers down. Slowly lean forward and straighten the legs. Scoot your feet back together. Drop the head. 3 deep breaths.
Now we're going to get way more viewers because they know that it's groin stretches.
I thought it said groin
No, I
stretch.
mean in the
in the actual title.
title, not in the...
Good. Bend your knees, hands to the floor. Go through your flow. Step or jump forward. 3 deep breaths. This time, bending your knees. Right foot steps back to a low lunge. And I'm on my fingertips, chest is lifted, and we're just sinking the foot, the hip towards the floor, just opening up the front of the hip. Good, keep the chest lifted. Then bring your hand to the inside of the foot, and we're walking it out to a wide angle forward bend. So my feet are parallel, and I'm just allowing my head to drape forward. And as we've said before, you want to try to bring the weight into the forward part of your foot and leave some of the weight off of your heel. One more deep breath here. Good, bring your hands to your hips. Inhale straight back all the way up. And I'm just going to change my angle so you can see. We're going to come into a squat. Okay, place your hands on the inside of your knees. Now I'm going to put my right palm on the inside of my knee, drop my right shoulder, and push the knee away. And relax your head. Inhale, lifting up. Exhale, switching. Again, inhale, lift. Exhale, right palm. One more time, lift. And exhale, drop. Good. Relax your head forward. You can straighten your legs again. Very good, and then from where you were, we'll walk back back to the front into a lunge again.
Left leg forward?
Yeah, left leg's forward. Sorry, I changed my angle. Then go ahead and step back to plank and go through your flow. Step or jump forward and hold your forward fold. 3 deep breaths here. Good, bend your knees, hands down. This time left foot steps back to a low lunge and we're just sinking the hip forward, chest lifted, stretching the front of your thigh. One more deep breath. And then go ahead and walk your hands back to the middle, feet are parallel. This time we're gonna grab for alternate elbows, and maybe you can get your elbows to the floor. One more deep breath. And then again, hands come to the hips, straight back all the way up. Okay, and you can point your toes slightly outward for our little knee stretch here when we come back into our squat position. Right hand on the inside. Drop your shoulder, push your hand into the knee. And then go ahead and switch on the exhale. One more time each way. Exhaling as you sink. Inhaling, coming up. Exhale, push. And then straighten the legs and drop the head.
Screen's frozen, I'm sure.
Yeah. Does that mean the audio is frozen too?
No, the audio they'll hear.
Oh, okay. So they hear the phone ringing.
Hello, up top, my shoulders, may I help you?
Oh, I'm not frozen anymore. Okay, good. So now we'll walk back into our lunge. And this time we'll sink the back knee. So back knee's touching the floor. Untuck your toe. And we come up for our hip flexor stretch. Good. 2 more deep breaths here. As you're breathing, I'm just going to show you the next movement so you are prepared. So we're here. Then I'm going to transition to my squat and switch sides. Okay, so we'll do that together. We're here. I'm going to tuck the back toes, press into the front heel, lift into squat, and then turn my front knee down so that it becomes the back knee. We have a baby back bend here. Okay, so we'll do that transition again. Tuck the back toes, lift into squat, and then switch. 2 deep breaths here. One more deep breath. Very good. And then from here, you can bring your hands to the floor and take a child's pose. And as we come up from the child's pose, we're preparing for the full frog. So you can use the pillow as a little cushion for your torso if this is not a comfortable position for you to hold. We're gonna hold for 2 minutes. So I'm gonna set a timer. Again, just to get you set up, we want the knees nice and wide. You can choose to have your toes touching, or see how it feels if you can to separate them. I find that it's a little harder to separate them. And I have my elbows on the floor, and I'm using my elbows to actively push my hips towards my heels. Okay, so then if you need to, you can use the pillow. Just setting up our timer here. So use those elbows, keep pressing the hips away from you. Now your knees should be comfortable here. I mean, that's easier for me to say on a jiu-jitsu mat, but you know, if you have hardwood floors at home, maybe make sure you have a little cushion or something underneath your knees. And this is definitely a pose where you'll almost immediately experience discomfort. So it's a good opportunity to get in touch with the rhythm of your breath. You know, try to just breathe into that area. Anytime we do some sort of extreme hip opening stretch like this, we always want to follow it up right away with a counter stretch, which would be a forward fold where the legs are together. And we have 20 seconds to go. Keep pushing. Okay, so from here, we'll lean forward, bring the knees to touch, and take a little child's pose real quick. And just letting your hips reset. And then as you come up, we'll swivel the legs forward to take a nice little forward stretch here. Make sure that your feet are touching. And then slowly coming up. Okay, so we're gonna do some sort of mobility movements with the pigeon pose that I'll show you, and then we'll do it together. Okay, so we'll get into our pigeon on the right side to start, since most of us are probably righties. And we're not gonna come down. We're gonna hold our chest up, and we're gonna hold here for 3 deep breaths. Then we're gonna lift the hips up almost like your, I don't know what you would call this, but your hips are elevated off the floor is the main point here. Okay, so we're here and we're almost gonna bridge our hips forward and hold for an additional 3. Okay, so let's try that out. And if you need to, you can tuck the heel closer. I mean, ideally we have a 90-degree bend, but if you need to for this, you can tuck the heel a little closer. Okay, so we're here, chest is lifted for 3, 2, 1. Lift the hips up and hold. Keep pushing the hip flexor toward me. Good, and then slowly lower the hips down. I'll show you first and then we'll do it together. I'll change my angle real quick. Okay, so we're here. And then we switch to the other side. Okay, so again, we're here. I'm gonna turn my back toes, swivel on my hips, and now I'm in pigeon on the other side. Okay, so 3 deep breaths.
Oh my God, yeah, I know.
And then when you're ready, go ahead and pop the hip up. Good, relax the hip down. Okay, we're gonna move a little bit quicker now, so we transition. Pop up for 2 deep breaths. 2, and then switch. Pop right up. And switch. Pop up. 1, 2, and switch. Pop up. And switch. Pop up. I don't know why I have this gable grip the whole time I've been doing this.
Not using your hands.
I know, I've just been like gable gripping. And switch. And then as we come down, we're just gonna come right into a butterfly. Very good, so draw your heels in nice and close. And sit up nice and tall with a straight back. 3 deep breaths here. Good. Start to lean forward. Elbows out into the knees. Coming up. Okay, taking our right hand and just pressing the knee towards the floor. And switch. Good, relax. Extend your legs out into a wide V. So if you're particularly inflexible in this area, it might be nice to have your pillow in front. Even if you wanted to double up on pillows if you're really struggling. So first, we're gonna do the same elbow to the floor stretch that we did at the very beginning. So elbow comes to the floor on the inside of the leg. Elbow digs into the thigh, and then we open up. Good, go ahead and switch. Open up your shoulder, and then extend. Inhale, coming up. Okay, and then you can either, as we come to the center, use your hands and fingers to walk forward, or you could double up on your pillows if you like, and just make a little...
It's too far away from me.
Actually, I don't even need this pillow if you want to double up.
No, it's okay. It's okay. I'll pull myself.
Okay. Yep, so again, you can recycle your breath here. Make sure that you have a nice, even breathing pattern. Flexing your feet, the legs are active. And 5 more deep breaths here. And again, because we're taking a wide angle stretch, we're going to want to follow it up right away with a closed legged stretch. 1 more deep breath. Very, very slowly walking yourself back. And let's bring those legs together again. Good. Nice and easy coming forward. Dropping your head. Let's this time bring our feet into a wide or far away butterfly. And I'll show you from this side. We're going to come onto your back using your core. So from here, we round the back. My head's going to touch the floor last. My low back touches first. Try to keep your feet glued to the floor all the way down. And then once you're here, we're going to allow the inner thighs to just slowly open up, letting gravity do the work. And you can play around with the distance of your heels. The closer your heels are, the more rigorous, but not necessarily. It's just a little bit of a different angle. So play around with what feels nice. One more deep breath here. And then keeping your feet connected, bring your ankles towards your chest and grab a hold of your ankles and just pull them toward you. Deep breath. Good. Knees together, hug them in tight, and you can get a little rock from side to side. And because whenever you stretch your groin and your thighs, that does slightly contract your outer hips and glutes. We are going to do a little bit of glute stretching, so we'll just take a figure 4 stretch real quick. Flexing the feet, ankle over the knee. Good, we'll switch. One more deep breath. Good. Bringing the knees back into your chest, preparing for happy baby. We're reaching for the out steps or outer edge of your foot and pulling the knees down to the floor, almost like you're pulling them into your armpits. Okay, so we're just pulling the knees in and pushing your foot into the hand at the same time. See if you can keep your low back glued to the floor here. And breathe deep. Good. Get a little rock from side to side. And then extend your right leg any amount. If you can't hold on to your foot while extending, you can also grab the ankle or the inside of the calf. The other foot, you're continually pulling that knee towards the armpit. Good, and then we'll switch, rebend the knee into the armpit, extend the opposite leg. Good, keep breathing into the inner thighs. One more deep breath here. Rebending the knee. Okay, we're going to switch our grip to the inside of the foot, the instep, and attempt to extend both legs simultaneously as far as you can. And if that becomes a struggle, you can always walk your hand down the ankle or the thigh, the calf if you need to. Keep flexing your feet. Good, one more deep breath. And then from here, we'll rebend, knees together, hug it in tight, and rock from side to side. Extend your right leg long on the floor, hug the left knee in. And then you can extend that left leg up to the ceiling, flex the foot, and I'm basket gripping behind my thigh. Shoulders and neck relaxed, both my feet are flexed. I'm going to take my left hand to the inside of my calf and guide the leg out towards the floor. And I'm going to keep the foot elevated off the floor. If you're flexible, you can reach for the inside of the foot, just like in our happy baby. Keeping both knees as straight as possible. Your right hip bone's going to want to pop off the floor here, so I use my free hand to just pin it to the floor. Make sure the hip bone is glued down. Very good. And we'll take it back to the middle, and why not, we'll just cross it over to the other side. So now my right hand is either on the outstep, my ankle, or the outside of my calf. We'll
we'll just take a quick counter stretch here. Good. Slowly bring it back to the middle and relax the legs straight onto the floor. And we'll switch. Opposite knee comes into the chest. Hug it in tight. And then when you're ready, we'll extend the leg up. Flex both feet and basket grip behind the thigh. Get a little hamstring stretch. And then when you're ready, take the hand to the inside of the calf, ankle, or the foot, and we'll guide the leg out to the side, keeping the leg elevated off the floor, pulling slightly upward toward the armpit. Keep your neck and shoulders relaxed, and my free hand is just pinning my left hip bone to the floor. One more deep breath. And then slowly bring it back up. We'll switch the grip to the out step or the outside of the calf. Good. Slowly bringing the knees back into the chest, hugging them in tight. And then when you're ready, extend both legs, ankles together, arms overhead. We're going to roll up to touch the toes. Do your best to keep your heels glued to the mat. Deep breath in. Exhale, peel your head off the floor. And reach for your toes. Good. Slowly coming up. So we have a few more groin stretches to close with. One is going to be standing, and the other two you can use either a piece of furniture nearby or a wall. So we're going to come into the straddle that we've been warming up and leading up to from the standing position. This doesn't mean that you have to come into the full split, but we're seeing where your edge is and then how long you can hold the position at that edge. So I'll show you first and we'll do it together. Okay, so from the wide angle that we've been working with, you can, if you have socks on, you'll probably slide right down, or you can just heel toe your way. Now, again, as you do this, you want your weight to be forward and very slowly, because we don't want to accidentally fall into a split that we can't do and then rip something, right? So we want to make sure that we have a good foundation. If you want to, again, you can use a pillow or double up to raise the floor for you, so that'll sort of make it easier. And we're just sliding like an inch at a time until you can't slide any further, and then we're just holding. Okay, so find that spot for you, and we're holding. Deep breaths here. Good job, Yanni.
Thank you. When I was a kid, I would fall right into a split without warming up.
Oh no, Yanni's camera's frozen, so you can't
Oh
see
no!
what a good job he's doing right now.
Frozen? Oh, maybe the battery's low. I forgot to connect it to a battery.
Aw, you're frozen in the
There you go.
Oh, good.
You guys can see my splits.
Yes. We won't be here much longer. Keep breathing. Two more deep breaths. And then if you're on your elbows, you can make your way back onto your palms and slowly heel toe, scooch your feet back into that standing forward fold, heels together, and relax the head. So that's sort of like your benchmark for your straddle.
Maybe I can get a full split again. Maybe.
I mean, you're pretty close.
That's like as far as I can go, though. I have to do hours of stretching to get it all the way down there.
I think if you just did like a few groin stretches every day, you'd get there. And then slowly roll up to stand, roll your shoulders out. So we're just gonna take the butterfly and straddle variations with either a wall or a couch or chair in your house will also do. So we're gonna throw the legs up the wall and basically I'm gonna talk a little louder because I'm farther away from the mic now. So let me make sure I'm in frame. All right, so we're throwing the legs up the wall right into the butterfly. Make sure you guys can see me. All right, and then we want to scooch your heels as close to the hips as you can. Place your hands on the inside of the knee and push your knees into your couch or your wall.
It's like we're on the floor, but we're not.
Exactly, it's like an upside down butterfly stretch. These are the best because it takes the strain of your upper body out of the equation, and you have gravity working on your side as well. So I highly recommend if you have a door or a wall where you can do this, it's much better. One more deep breath. Got it. And then put all the pressure into your right palm and just push the right knee into the wall. Good. Switch. Okay, and then close the knees. Press your heels into the wall or couch. Just counterbalancing the hips here. And then straighten your legs straight up towards the ceiling. Okay, we're going to take a half straddle. So right leg stays straight up toward the ceiling. Left leg is going to come down towards the floor, feet flex. Good. Go ahead and bring that
switch. Very good. Both legs straight up the wall. And make sure that your hips are nice and close to the wall. I forgot to mention that. It doesn't have to be touching, but as close as you can get your hips. Bend your knees towards your chest. Get your feet as close to your hips as possible. And then widen your feet out, almost like a squat position. Like we're in an upside down squat.
If you're standing on the wall.
Yeah. And then I have my elbows just pushing the knees away. And you want your low back pressing into the mat here. That sucks.
They're ruining
Your Zen experience.
my stretch. Hello, up top martial arts, can I help you?
2 more deep breaths. Good, and then close the knees, straighten the legs, let your hips reset.
I don't need that.
Lame.
So what are we doing? Oh, legs on the wall.
And then for our final stretch, I'm going to give you the option to either repeat the upside down squat here, and you can even, scoot your feet out even wider, or you can take a full straddle stretch here. Okay, depending on how much couch space you have, if you're using a couch, you can do the squat instead. And when we're doing this inverted straddle, you want to make sure that your heels are kind of level. A lot of times I'll see people that are like crooked. And that tends to happen just because one side of our body is usually tighter than the other, and when we go upside down, it's easier to see those asymmetries. Good, deep breaths, 2 more to go. And then finally, we'll close the legs and just allow the legs to come straight up the wall for a few breaths and let the hips reset. Do you know what you're teaching next week yet?
I haven't decided. Let me see. We just did some passing. We're probably going to do some guard work for sure.
Mm-hmm. Hi, Blaine.
You still live?
Oh yeah, we're still live.
This is our last pose, though. We're just taking a little shavasana here. And then when you're ready to come down from the wall or couch, we'll bend the knees, turn to the side, and press up. And that's a wrap for groin stretches.
Awesome.
Thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll see you next Friday.